energy might also be seen during this budget. Oil and gas is the last counter where Macquarie expects that OMC's compensation for LPG under recoveries might be seen. So these are Macquarie's expectation on different sectors as to how budget may come out with different changes in different sectors and how it may impact these sectors.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know your company.
Hi, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. My name is Alex Matthew and with me is Mahima Vachrajani, and we'll take you through the next 1 hour of trade. This show is geared towards getting you answers to all of your stock related questions, and there are several ways in which you can send your questions to us. The first one, of course, is the WhatsApp number that you see on the screen. It's up there. And the other number is a calling number. It's a landline number where you can speak to Mahima or me. By the way, we were discussing this. We can take questions in several languages. Of course, we prefer English, but then in case you want to speak to us in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, maybe a little bit of Malayalam, I will try. But the point is that we've got experts to answer all of your questions, and today is a day when you might have a lot of them. Let's take a look at the markets and where they stand right now. You have the benchmark indices that have bounced a little bit from yesterday's crack, and they're trading with gains of about 0.4%, holding above 23,100. Remember, for the first time since June, you had the benchmark Nifty 50 break below the 23,000 mark yesterday, and that's a very crucial level to watch out for. If you close below that number, I'm sure my technical expert today will tell you what will happen. But the broader markets are still seeing significant weakness. In fact, you have the mid-cap index that's trading with cuts of about 1% and not 1.5%, but 1.3% or 1.2%. And you have the small cap index that's trading with cuts of about 1.4% at this juncture, as a result of which the market breadth is tilted very firmly in favor of the declines, and you have quite a few stocks that have reacted very sharply to their earnings on the downside. We were talking about a few stocks at the start, Mahima, and you have a few of these stocks, IndiaMart, Intermesh. On the face of it, the numbers looked okay, but then you delve a little bit into the details and it's not looking very good. I can't remember who, but there's a very sharp downgrade on the stock. You have a few others, ICICI Pru, Cyan DLM. You have quite a few of these that are reacting very sharply on the downside. What's on your list?
Right. So, just to point out, yesterday, I think Astha or Swati, one of them said that, I think Swati said that, it's a very stock-specific market. And, experts on our channel are also saying that if your earnings are not panning out well, the stock is really, kind of getting hammered. And that's what happened with Intermesh. The numbers looked good prima facie, but subscribers for them have significantly gone down, which means the future for Intermesh, IndiaMart Intermesh looks bleak, which is why the stock is seeing, the downtick that it is seeing. It's down 7.5%. Cyan DLM, again, revenue did beat estimates, but it's the order book execution that is kind of concerning, and which is why the stock is down around 12.5%. Rosary Biotech is another counter which is also seeing pressure, and this is because their margins did take a hit. The net profit was down around 8%. It's down around 4% as we speak. Tanla Platforms, other counter which is seeing pressure. The results were not at all good. The margins slipped down to 13.9% versus that of 15.2%. The stock is down 6.5%. PNB Housing, although, is on the other side of the spectrum. The total income was up 10%, net profit up 36%. It did see good gains in the start of the trade, but I believe the way markets are going, it was also pulled down in the red, and it's down around 2%. ICICI Prudential, numbers in line with estimates, but margins have declined due to shifting towards the lower margins ULIPs and group funds, which is why we are seeing a downtick of around 8% on the counter. Let's also put up Jana Small Finance Bank. This is one counter which opened significantly in green, and it's still holding up. And it's almost at its days high, up 17%, where the net interest income was up 8%. Net profit, however, is down, but the gross NPAs and net NPAs have improved by a tad bit, which is why the stock is seeing the significant uptick. So 17% up on Jana Small Finance
Okay,
Bank.
and I'm sure that our viewers have a lot of questions about these stocks and others. Incidentally, we've got our first caller, but before we go to Anup, who's calling us from Cochin, let me introduce our guests today. We've got Avinash Gorakshakar as well as Vaishali Parekh joining us this morning. Good morning to the both of you, and thanks so much as always for taking the time. I'll go to our first caller today. Anup is calling us from Cochin, as I said. Morning, Anup. What do you want to know about?
Yeah, good morning, Alex. So, I just wanted to know about the Ratnaveer Precision Engineering.
Okay, Ratnaveer Precision. Okay.
Yes.
What about it do you want to know?
170.
Okay, 170. All right.
Yeah, 1800 quantity. Yes.
Okay. Okay, and what is the time frame that you have?
So something like more than 18 months.
18 months. But what about this did you like? Because it's a stainless steel washers manufacturer from what I can see. It's a very small company, less than 1,000 crore at this juncture. And it is actually down about 8% over the last 6 months, been more or less flat. But you're still in the green. It's been flat over the last 3 months. When did you buy this?
So I bought in November actually.
In November, okay. And what did you like about the company? Why did you buy it?
So their sales are sales and their OPMs are good actually.
Okay, understood. I'm going to take a chance and ask Avinash. Avinash, very small company, less than 1,000 crore market capitalization. Do you have any idea of what you can do with this for the next 18 months?
No, I think, good morning, Alex. I think my sense is that, this company is an engineering company based out of Vadodara, and it makes stainless steel, tube washers as well as, components for the solar and the green energy sectors. Exports about 40 to 45% of its revenue. So I think numbers, for the last 2 quarters have been quite impressive. The stock had initially underperformed, after it went public. But I think looking at the good numbers, the stock started moving up. I would say that, if the investor has a time horizon of at least 12, 18 months, I think he should hold on. Current year is definitely going to be good. Plus the new facility, again in Vadodara, an expansion is going to start from the new financial year. So I think that would obviously give a big kick up to their revenue and profitability estimate. So I think since it's an ancillary play on the engineering and the solar sector, which are growing quite rapidly, and they have a fairly good order book, I would not be surprised that they should do better. So I think continue to hold. I think he could expect a decent risk reward, but I think as mentioned, time horizon of at least 12 to 18 months would definitely be good for getting a good risk reward.
That's the view coming in on Ratnaveer Precisions. Moving on to the next query. Vaishak from Kerala has a query on TCS. He's holding 55 shares, bought at 4275 a piece, and he wants to know as to whether he can hold it for the next 1 year or not. Vaishali, I'll come to you on this one. TCS had a flattish growth in the past 2 quarters, and we've seen some signs of recovery. So fundamentally, we're seeing recovery, but not very good in place. But how does the chart look?
So chartically, there's really nothing much happening on TCS. But overall, if you talk about the IT sector, in a market like this today, it's attempting to show the bounce, and overall, the trend is quite positive. So I think these are levels, fair valuation to start considering these stocks. So now that he has held on and he's bought it and he's holding on, I think just continue holding, at least exit and a bounce. Maybe you can see a return up to 4,500 or so. So for now, it's a hold.
Praveen is calling us from Karnataka. Praveen, कॉल करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. क्या जानना चाहते हैं आप?
सर मैंने कोचिन शिपयार्ड लिया 2445 रेट पे 8 शेयर.
ओके.
और तो अभी उसका रेट बहुत कम चल रहा है, तो क्या करूं, होल्ड करूं या शेयर करूं?
कब लिया था ये शेयर?
जुलाई में लिया था.
ओके. और उस टाइम पे क्या सोच रहे, किस रीजन के लिए आपने परचेज किया था? लॉन्ग टर्म फंडामेंटल्स देख के आपने बाय किया था?
जी लॉन्ग टर्म देख कर गया था, क्योंकि उस टाइम मैंने 700 से नोटिस किया हुआ था, 700,000, 500, 2,445, जिस हिसाब से ग्रोथ हो रहा था उस हिसाब से मैंने बाई किया था, लेकिन उसके बाद नीचे फॉल डाउन ही हुआ है।
और आप कितना होल्ड करना चाह रहे, लॉन्ग टर्म होल्ड करना चाह रहे?
1 साल तक।
1 साल तक, ओके। अविनाश, it's a tough ask, right? You're talking about a significant recovery that will have to be made in the stock price for him to get his cost back. This is a stock that I think a lot of people have bought in their portfolios, but they've seen a little bit of a disappointment if they bought at the higher levels, and a lot of people have. What is the strategy that you would employ?
No, I think first of all, Alex, I think he needs to give in some more time. I think 1 year could be a short period because most of these defense stocks have corrected significantly. I think looking at the fundamentals, Cochin Shipyard is a very large player in the defense ship market, enjoys an order book of more than 4,000 crores. And I think orders are booked at least for the next 2 years. Plus, they are also exporting some of their ships. So I think business is going to grow very rapidly. But I think if he wants to make an alpha year, I think he needs to, average a little more. I think he's got a very small quantity of just 8 shares. So I think if he can add a little more at around 1,400 odd levels, that would bring down his average cost and keep it at least a 2-year time frame. Because, in these companies, 1 year could be a little shorter period. Of course, what the budget, presents for the defense sector is another, thing which could possibly spring a positive surprise if some big announcements are made. But otherwise, I think over the next 2 years, if he can patiently wait, he can definitely get a decent risk reward. I think he needs to stay invested for a long period of time.
All right, that's the view coming in on Cochin Shipyard. Moving on to the next query, B. Chakraborty from Kolkata has a query on Asian Paints. He's bought 100 shares at 2231 a piece. He wants to know as to what could be, the stop loss and target for the next 3 months. Vaishali, I'll come to you on this one. Asian Paints is the counter. We're seeing pressure on the entire painting sector and brokerages are also turning bullish. But 3 months, how does it fare on charts?
So I would say technically it's really corrected quite a bit. It's just making an attempt to bounce back from its oversold zones. So I would say 2150 should be taken as a stop loss. And I think at least for near term, it is showing sign of upward move. So 2400 would be the next target to look at. So keep a stop loss of 21,550 and hold on.
21,550 is the stop loss. Moving on to the next caller, Yuvaraja, I believe, is calling from Karnataka. A very good morning to you. How can we help you? Hi, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Go ahead with your query.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. I have purchased an Gandhar Oil, ma'am.
Okay.
I have to buy or I have to hold or I have to wait or not. I have to.
All right. How long can you hold it for the next 1 year? Can you hold it? Do you want a technical perspective or a fundamental perspective?
I have a fundamental, ma'am.
Okay. I'll come to you, Avinash. Gandhar Oil is the counter. What's the view?
No, I think clearly, the stock was purchased at a higher level. But if you see the bigger challenge for Gandhar Oil, it's that most of its raw material are, crude related. So basically, if crude prices go up, and if the rupee continues to depreciate, then it is going to be a double whammy for the company. So my sense is that unless the investor can patiently wait for the next 12 to 18 months, I think in the near term, there are very few triggers. I would not be surprised that the third and the fourth quarter, possibly the fourth quarter and the first quarter of next financial year could be equally challenging. So I think continue to hold. But yes, I think to give a long-term view, the business prospects are pretty solid. But, the raw material side, volatility and the price of crude is going to be the key, risk factor, at least in the near term.
Just want to draw your attention to a special program that we have lined up on the 25th of this month, that is Friday. 3 days to go now, and this is a show that is geared towards getting you answers to your questions, but the people that are going to be answering your questions are the who's who of Dalal Street. Big names that we're talking about, and we're talking about Mr. Damani, who will be answering your questions, Prashant Kemka, as well as Nilesh Shah of Envision Capital. Ramesh Damani, of course, is going to be in studio, I believe. We've also, on the technical side, got Gautam Shah from Goldilocks and Kush Bora. Saurabh Mukherjee, Marcellus, is going to be doing a session with us as well. The number that you should reach out to is the same number that you are sending us messages on this particular program, which is flashing on your screen right now, what we want you to do is hold your camera in a horizontal format if possible and send us a video recording of your question. Chances are that if your question is insightful and is interesting, then we will feature you on the show, and the likes of Ramesh Damani or Mr. Prashant Khemka or one of the other experts will take it up over the course of that day. This is Saturday and we'll be live for quite a bit of Saturday, so I'd encourage you to tune in definitely. And why don't you take the opportunity to also send us your question? Chances are that you could feature on national television. All right, let's go to the next question, and we've got Anu, who's writing in from Karnataka, and she's asking about a stock that posted its results not too long back. Yesterday, in fact, KEI is the name of the counter. She's bought long back at levels of 90 rupees per share. Is that even right? My goodness, 90 rupees per share. She's bought quite a while back, therefore. The stock is currently trading at 3,998. She's held for quite a while. What is the perspective? The stock is under a tad bit of pressure today, if I remember correctly. Avinash, there was a miss on the margins and there was a miss on the profit in the quarter gone by. What is the view on the stock? Would you hold?
No, I think, Alex, this is something like, a huge multi-bagger gain by the investor. So I think 90 rupees becoming almost 4,000 rupees. So I think, talking about the company, this is a large player in the cable and wire market. And I think most of the cable and wire companies, according to me, are poised quite well, because looking at the kind of growth in infrastructure plus the kind of power projects which are being implemented, KEI is definitely looking at expanding its capacities and benefiting from this growth. So I think, one quarter number may not spoil the show completely. So, if the investor has a slightly medium-term call, he should, continue to hold. I would not be surprised that you could see a good re-rating, because a lot of institutions, domestic funds, FIs and even PMSs have, got in the stock. So I think this minor blip is not going to affect the long-term kind of wealth creation. So despite the fact that a lot of money has been made, if the investor can hold on, I think some better pricing can be expected over the next 12-18 months.
I want to refer to the numbers since we spoke about it. KEI Industries, the margins contracted about 80 basis points to 9.6% in the quarter gone by, and the net profit has risen just about 9.4% to 165 crore rupees. UBS had a note on KEI. It has cut its target price to 5,750, which is still a considerable upside from the current market price. So that's something that you should bear in mind.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the next caller then. Swaminathan from Bengaluru is calling in. A very good morning to you, Swaminathan. How can we help you?
Yeah, good morning. This is regarding Pilani Investments.
Okay.
And I purchased at 5,300 rupees, around 25 shares.
Okay.
Just wanted to know the medium term, whether I can hold it or sell it.
Right. From what I understand is that this basically is a non-deposit taking NBFC reserved, registered with the Reserve Bank of India, and functions in the core investment company, with main activity being investment in shares and securities of Birla Group of companies. I just want to understand as to what is the specific reason behind buying Pilani Investment specifically?
Yeah, because the book value of the company, if I'm right, is around 13,000 rupees.
Right.
And they have a very good, blue chip companies under their investments like Grasim, Ultratech and other big companies.
Right.
So based on that, I thought this should go up. That's what my guess was.
Understood, Swaminathan. Avinash, I'll come to you. Swaminathan has done his study well on the company, but your take on this company, if you have the coverage.
No, I think, this is a very old company of the Birla Group. As you rightly mentioned, it's the holding company. But, normally holding companies, according to me and overall according to the markets, they are normally discounted, almost by 50% to their, market values, whatever market values they hold in the group companies. And unless or until there is some, value monetization, these companies are basically treated as mostly dividend kind of earners, because most of the income for these companies comes in the form of dividends. So I think, the investor should understand that capital appreciation in these companies will take a long time. Unless you've got a 2 to 3 year kind of time frame, And if some monetization happens, if some equity shares are listed separately, or there's some sell-off which the group decides to do and encashes, and obviously books that money in the profit and loss account, big capital appreciation is not going to be possible. I think it's at best a good dividend yield kind of opportunity, that too over the longer period. So I think if he's got that kind of approach in his mind, then I think it's fine. But if he's looking at capital appreciation, then I think he should not remain invested in this company.
Vaishali, it seems like because of the texture of the market and the way that it's moving, the short-term guys are ducking for cover, and not too many. In fact, we're getting most of the questions that are fundamental in nature. But still, Darshan Mandviwala from Surat in Gujarat, he's saying that he's invested currently in Hindalco, but he's looking to deploy right now for 1 year. What is the best entry price in your opinion?
So technically, I think Hindalco has really done with its corrective move, and we saw just in the recent past 560 was the low that was made. So I think that should be the level that he should be taking it as a support. And since he's looking at a long-term perspective and market is volatile, consider this as a very strong support, 560, and start accumulating this stock, because I think overall, even for a longer term period, the trend is quite good and good for accumulation from these levels.
That's a view on Hindalco, positive on the charts. Mohan is calling us from Hyderabad. Mohan, good morning, and how can we help you today?
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, madam. Good morning, Avinash sir and madam Vaishali. I would like to ask Mr. Avinash sir about Hyderabad batteries, HBL batteries.
Okay.
HBL batteries, I bought 500 to 540.
Okay.
It went up to 700 also, but now it came down.
Okay.
I would like to know the future of this company.
HBL Power Systems, right, you're talking about?
Yes, exactly.
HBL Power Systems, okay. Any chance you have a view on this, Avinash?
Yeah, I think Alex, HBL Power is a very strong player in the Kavach system, which has been developed for the railways. And I think this budget also, there are expectations that the government is going to increase the outlay quite significantly. Already HBL Power is sitting on an order book of more than 2,500 crores. They also have a large exposure in the aviation and the defense market. So I think the investors should actually hold on to the investment here. I would not be surprised that the next 2 years are going to be equally promising and much stronger in terms of top line and profitability growth. In fact, the third quarter numbers have also been quite good. So overall, I think it's a good business, and I think they have been in the right product at the right time. So I think continue to hold. Give a time frame of at least 12 to 18 months. I think good amount of risk reward, even from the current level, could be possible.
Hats off, Avinash, to your research, because by the time that I've pulled up the stock and the screener on my laptop, you've already given us key details of what the order book stands at. So kudos to you.
Moving on to the next query, Ankit from Ahmedabad is holding 5 shares of Tata Power bought at 444 rupees, and he wants to know as to he should average it out at current levels of 360 to 365. Okay, currently the stock is trading at 357. Vaishali, averaging out, is that a good strategy for Tata Power?
Definitely, because I think this too long-term trend is intact. The prominent support lies at 340. So as I said, that market is quite uncertain. So there is going to be some volatility. But yes, these are fair levels. So I would say, exact bottom fishing is not possible, but one should start accumulating in tranches from here on.
Start accumulating Tata Power in tranches. We have to slip into a very quick break. Vaishali, Avinash, do stay with us, and viewers will be back on the other side to take more of your questions, so do stay tuned.
They say fortune favors the prepared. The more prepared you are using the tools of technical and fundamental analysis, the more returns you can make at the markets. Join me, Gautam Shah, at NDTV Profit's special session for investors. See you there.
I present the budget for a historic
It's nearly time for Budget 2025, and what that means is that there are a lot of proposals that are coming through to the Finance Minister, and among them, there are proposals from the mutual fund industry as well. I'll talk about three key changes that they are suggesting. One is a rollback in the tax rates that was announced last year. Of course, last year, the capital gains tax, long-term and short-term, was increased to 12.5% and 20% respectively. The mutual fund industry is saying a rollback to the previous rates would be beneficial because it would incentivize more investors to come through and invest, and those people that have come into the investment fold into the mutual fund industry over the past couple of years will be rewarded for their patience and for their investments. The second proposal has to do with the tax treatment on debt mutual funds. Currently, all capital gains emerging from debt mutual funds are taxed at slab rate, and what that means is that depending on which income slab you fall in, if you're in the highest tax slab and you're paying 30% on the income above a certain threshold, your gains from debt mutual funds are also taxed at 30%. That wasn't always the case. Long-term capital gains came into effect after a period of 3 years, and they were taxed at 20% with indexation benefits. Of course, that doesn't remain the case anymore. So the mutual fund industry is asking for a rollback to the previous tax treatment because they say that the debt market in India is growing, is emerging, and it needs to be incentivized. The third change that they're suggesting has to do with the income distribution schemes. Of course, there are two types of schemes in mutual funds. One is the growth scheme, where all gains are reinvested by the fund manager. And in the second case, which is the dividend distribution scheme as it used to be called, the income is distributed on an ongoing basis to unit holders. Now, the thing is, income above 5,000 rupees that is distributed in this manner will have to have tax deducted at source, or TDS, as things stand right now. And the mutual fund industry is suggesting that this threshold be raised to 50,000 rupees, and they expect that this will benefit a lot of people because they won't then have to have tax deducted at source. Of course, there are more proposals that they've made, but we'll see what the Finance Minister takes up when she presents her budget for 2025.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profits Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know Your Company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know your company, powered by
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, a show where we answer all your stock related queries, whether they're fundamental or technicals. Viewers, you can ask all your stock related queries on WhatsApp or either call us. We have our next caller online. Ray from Bengaluru is calling in. Ray, a very good morning to you. I believe your query is on PB Fintech.
Yeah, right. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead with your query.
I'm holding 14 shares of PB Fintech at 2135 per share.
Okay.
I bought it on 2nd Jan.
Okay.
And I have a long-term view for platform companies in general. My sense was since it is getting into hospital sector also,
right,
it would have better future going forward.
Right.
But since the time I bought, it is falling quite a lot. So I just want to know if I can average it out at this level, or should what should be the strategy going forward?
Right. I think your query is crystal clear. Avinash, I'll come to you. PB Fintech is the counter. What's the view?
No, I think, Mahima, if the investor has a 2 to 3 year kind of time frame, platform companies inherently make losses in the initial years. And then once operations break even and the scalability of the business is proven, then I think, it's going to be a big runway for growth. So I think already, if you look at the global markets, selling online insurance policies is a very normal part of the game. In India, we still have insurance agents which do a large part of the insurance selling network. So I think, the market opportunity here is pretty large. The insurance penetration in India is very low. So I think given that, I think definitely Policy Bazaar, which is the portal for PB Fintech, definitely should grow very well. In fact, my sense is that if the investor has a 2 to 3 year kind of time frame, I think definitely this looks a promising opportunity. But yes, I think you need to give in a long runway to wait for the rewards to come in.
Okay. Finally, a short-term question and a technical one being sought. In fact, on State Bank of India, Ilya Raja is writing in asking what the levels are to watch and what level to enter. 750 or very close to that mark, about 17-18% down from the 52-week high. Does it make sense, Vaishali, to buy right now?
See, the trend is still showing signs of reversal. I mean, there's a downward projection even now. So I would say wait for this. In all likelihood, this can go towards 740, 720 levels. So these are the levels that I would say start buying, because that would give him a fairly good risk-reward ratio.
All right. So that's the view on State Bank of India. Suman is calling us from Hyderabad. Hi, Suman. Thanks so much for calling. How can we help you today?
Yeah, hi, yes. I wanted to know this KNR Constructions. Can I buy, enter now?
Can you enter now? For what period are you talking about? And is this fundamental or technical?
I'm asking about the fundamentals.
Okay. And what time frame are you thinking of?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. So you're interested in the infrastructure space, and what drew you to KNR Construction specifically, Suman?
So KNR, they're improving their bottom line very well, actually.
Okay. So
have the order book.
You track the earnings, yeah. The stock is up about 8.5% over the last 3 months. Avinash, is this a good time to enter, and what are the prospects on the fundamentals for KNR?
I think within the EPC and construction market, it's a quality player in the market, Alex. I think what is most noteworthy about the company is that, their execution track record has been very solid. They've always completed projects ahead of time. And I think the investor has rightly mentioned that, they have a large order book of almost 3,000 to 4,000 crores. So I think order book visibility continues to be very solid. In the coming budget also, hopefully, the construction companies will be given some sort of boost, according to me. And that will be a near-term sentimental trigger. But yes, I think if he can hold on for the next 12 to 15 months, definitely I think he could get a decent risk reward. Valuations also appear to be pretty reasonable, around 12, 13 times 1 year forward numbers. So that, additionally makes the stock pretty look attractive from a medium to long term.
View coming in on KNR Construction. Moving on to the next counter, NTPC Green is the counter. We have, Ravichandran has bought 1,000 shares, and he wants to know as to what could be the outlook for the company from the next 1 to 2 years perspective? I'll have to come to you, Avinash, again. NTPC Green, what's the view?
No, I think this is a recent listing, Mahima. So, I think if the investor has a couple of years in mind, they are basically a solar power generating company and a subsidiary of NTPC. So my sense is it's a very fairly, risk-free assured business because the order book continues to be very strong. They plan to even double their capacity. So, I think clearly if the investor has a medium to long-term view, he should not be worried with the mild correction which he has seen in the stock price. I think he should continue to hold, but keeping a time frame of at least 12 to 18 months, as of now.
12 to 18 months looks good for NTPC Green is the view coming in. Moving on to the next caller, Murlidhar from Gwalior is calling in. Murlidhar, a very good morning to you. कैसे मदद करें आपकी?
गुड मॉर्निंग मैडम एबी कैपिटल पे मैं पूछना चाह रहा था, उसमें एक प्राइस एंट्री ले सकते हैं क्या अभी?
एबी कैपिटल स्पेसिफिकली क्यों? आपने फंडामेंटल्स देखे हैं कंपनी के या चार्ट्स देख के पूछ रहे हैं आप?
चार्ट देख के मैडम, थोड़ा करेक्ट है अभी तो।
ठीक है, और टाइम होराइजन क्या है आपका? कितने टाइम तक आप होल्ड करना चाहेंगे एबी कैपिटल को?
5 to 6 months तक।
ओके, वैशाली, एबी कैपिटल, हाउ डज इट फेयर ऑन चार्ट्स?
Well, it is quite corrected, but I think further corrective move cannot be ruled out. So look for a level of 160 to 155.
160 to 175 is the level, is the range to watch out for. Kunal is calling us from Delhi. Kunal, good morning, and how can we help you today?
Hi, good morning. I hope you are having a good day.
We're having a great day. I wish that the markets were having as good a day as I am. Please go ahead.
That's true. So I am holding RK Forging at the price of 705, 100 shares. So after the current Q3 results, so I wanted to know the outlook of the experts that can we hold it or should I sell it?
Okay, so Kunal, I'm assuming that you have a long-term fundamental view and you're still in the green. When did you buy this?
This was a few months back at the price of 705.
Okay, got it.
I don't know the exact date, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Give me an indication. All right, so you want to know, based on the fundamentals, what's the long-term outlook? Avinash, Ramakrishna Forgings, would you hold on based on the fundamentals?
Yeah, I think Alex, RK Forgings is a very large, forging player based in Eastern India and largely caters to the commercial vehicle sector. In fact, Tata Motors is one of their key clients. And most importantly, now they've entered the railway market. They're going to manufacture wheel rims along with Titagar, wagons in a joint venture. The order book continues to be pretty solid. I think in terms of capacity, now they are number 3. And most importantly, even the export market has opened up for them. So I think, despite the fact that there has been some margin pressure in Q3, I think overall the order book continues to be very solid. And hopefully, if the railway market continues to grow, I think they have opened a new non-automotive market, which actually will give them significant growth ahead. So I think, if the investor can hold on for the next, say, couple of years, this is a stock which definitely can grow significantly. In fact, the stock is already plus for the investor. But I think even from these levels, significant amount of wealth creation can happen, provided, investor can stay invested for the next couple of years.
All right. So that's the view coming in on RK Forgings. Moving on to the next query, Mahalakshmi from Hyderabad has a query on JBM Auto. She's holding 125 shares at an average price of 1895. She's saying that there's demand for EV, but the stock is down to 2,400, and she's been holding this shares in quite some time now, and she wants to know whether she can average it out or hold it for the next 2 years. She's also saying that please suggest me a further course of action. She's a housewife who's 66 years old. Since it's 2 years, Avinash, I'll come back to you again. JBM Auto at current level, should she average out or keep holding the current shares that she has?
No, I think she can definitely average out because this company has been a very large vendor to Maruti. They make sheet metal components, but they have diversified into electric vehicle buses. And I think the government's focus, specifically pan-India, has been to encourage, city buses, specifically the electric, buses. So I think this is definitely going to be a good trigger point for the company. So I think, if the investor has a 2-year kind of time frame, definitely some averaging can be done. There is no doubt that the company's business model is very solid and the business opportunity is pretty large. So I think keeping a 2-year view, I think one can definitely nimble into the stock at the current level and take a long-term view here.
All right, so that's the view coming in on JBM Auto. Moving on to the next caller, Sandeep from Hyderabad is calling in. Sandeep, a very good morning to you. I believe you have a query on Hero MotoCorp.
Yes, ma'am. Very good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
My query is on Hero MotoCorp. I bought it on 2nd Jan, expecting that it would grow from 4,300 levels.
Okay.
Because it has already fallen by 30% or 33%.
Okay.
So I just wanted to understand how much fall further it may have, being one of the best two-wheeler companies in the country.
Right.
I just wanted to see how much fall it can have and how we will be able to buy it furthermore at certain levels. Just wanted to understand.
Okay, Sandeep, when you bought it on 2nd Jan, was it the charts that you saw or the fundamentals that you saw?
Yes, ma'am. It was a 2-day chart. It was moving upwards, and that was the 2nd day. Usually, we see that it was moving a bit upper.
Okay.
So I thought that from the next day onwards, it would. There is a possibility of moving up.
Okay, so how long do you plan to hold this? And
3 months,
do you want 3 months? So I'll get you a technical view on this then. Vaishali, I'll come to you. Hero MotoCorp is the counter.
So I think the furthermore downside cannot be ruled out because there is some corrective move, and overall you see full auto sector is under a good pressure. So I think this can go towards 3,800. So depending on how much he can hold and what is the risk he can take, 3,800 is quite likely.
3,800 is quite likely. Sona BLW is the name of the counter that we're talking about next, and we got Prakash from Chennai who is writing in and looking for a fundamental outlook. He's holding 600 at a price of 501. He wants to increase his holding here. Should he sell and re-enter at a lower level or buy additional quantity is the question right now. He is in the green, and which is why that question makes sense. Avinash, on the fundamentals?
No, I think again Sona BLW, Alex, is a play on the electric vehicle sector. They have more than 25 global electric vehicle companies as their customers, and they are one of the large players in the market. So I think here, if the investor is taking at least the next 2 years in opinion, both the global market as well as the domestic market is growing quite rapidly for electric vehicles, and I think to that extent, Sona BLW is very rightly positioned. So I think keeping a 2-year view, he can definitely average at the current level, but I think he needs to take a 2-year time frame to stay invested.
Take a 2-year time frame on Sona BLW. The next question is a caller. In fact, we've got Shweta calling in from Bengaluru. Morning, Shweta. How can we help you today?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I have purchased MHRIL. The quantity was 50.
Okay.
And the price was 368. And it was last month that I purchased.
Okay.
But now see that the stock is fallen to 330.
Yes.
So I want to ask if I should continue or sell it away at this price.
Okay. Shweta, help me. Sorry. Can you help me with the time frame that you had in mind when you bought the stock?
Around 1 year.
Okay. So it wasn't on the fundamentals that you bought, right? You bought based on the trading. You had a trading idea.
Yeah.
Got it. Vaishali, on the charts then, for 1 year, bought at levels of 360, I believe, or thereabouts. 330 is the current market price. What are the prospects?
I think it should be done. The corrective move should be done. Take 300 as a support because we've seen a one-way fall right from 500 levels. So we are already in the oversold, and I think overall, I think this is Mahindra Holidays, right? MHRIL. So I think overall this industry is doing pretty well. So I would say keep 300 as your support and perhaps add more.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Mahindra Holidays. Moving on to the next query. This query is from Murli from Tamil Nadu. His query is on Sun TV. Okay, interesting one. The average price of buying is 726 and he's bought 25 in quantity. Is averaging the shares advisable? Vaishali, this is one of the counters which is, kind of volatile when it comes to trading. What is your view with respect to Sun TV?
I would say rather focus on still other quality stocks. Avoid this right now.
So stay away from Sun TV is the view coming in from Vaishali. Moving on to the next caller, Venkat Rao from Hyderabad is calling in. Very good morning to you, Venkat. How can we help you?
Good morning. This is Venkat Rao from Hyderabad. I bought one HFCL shares and 150 shares at the rate of 150. Now it is trading at 98 or 100 rupees. What can I do? Shall or hold or selling?
Okay. When you bought it, did you buy it considering that you'll hold it from a longer term perspective?
No, I'm long term, 1 year waiting period.
1 year waiting period. Okay, Avinash, I'll come to you. HFCL is the counter.
No, I think he can continue to hold. See, I think recently HFCL has got new orders, from the telecom department, and I think they've got a large exposure even in the defense market. So my sense is, the stock has been pretty volatile. But if you see the numbers, Q3 was a slight disappointing quarter. Numbers in terms of margins and profitability was more or less flat. But I think clearly if the investor can wait for the next 12 to 15 months, I think he should get a decent risk reward. So I think continue to hold.
Continue to hold on HFCL. Hopefully my next viewer is going to tell me their name. I have asked, but I found the question very interesting. VST Industries is the name of the counter, and what they're saying is that the shares. So Vikram has replied finally. Vikram from Pune. The shares have fallen after the bonus shares were distributed and have not recovered since. The stock is currently at 327. But I found what was interesting is the advice that he's seeking. Avinash, I'm not sure if you've come across this terminology. It is HODL, which is actually a crypto terminology. Hold on for dear life, which is the option. HODL, hold, sell or buy. And HODL is basically a holding for the very, very, very long term. So what is the advice that you would give on VST Industries?
No, I think my sense is he should continue to hold. I think whenever the company gives a bonus, Alex, as everyone is aware, obviously the incremental dilution impact gets into the market and the stock gets averaged out. But I think if you look at the business model, there are very few, cigarette companies. And in fact, just to tell you, VST Industries has got very large marquee investors, which continue to hold on to their position. So I think, the liquidity of the stock may not be very large. But if you look at the business model and the kind of growth opportunity, I think, at least the next 12, 15 months, if one were to hold, I would not be surprised that, they have a decent market share and a good product offering. So I think they should continue to do well. But in the short term, the stock may remain in a very close range. So I think longer term, if he's got the patience and the conviction, he should continue to hold.
I think even the kind of announcement in the budget will be a wait and watch in terms of taxes on the cigarette for VST Industries as well as ITC. Moving on to the next query, Krishna from Vizag has 500 shares of Angel One bought at 3021 a piece. He wants to know whether he should keep holding them or not. Vaishali, Angel One on the charts.
I think this too is on a selling mode, so I would say. But however, it is at a good support level. So 2200 key, hold it with a stop loss of 2200.
Hold is the view on Angel One. Yash is calling us from Pune. Yash, good morning. And how can we help you today?
Yes, good morning, sir. I bought Vodafone Idea at price of 18,000 shares. So should I hold it or sell it?
When did you buy, Yash?
Almost when the IPO was launched.
Okay, so you've recovered some FPO, you mean? Yeah. The follow-on public offer.
It was 25 April 2024.
Got it. Okay, so the FPO is when you bought 11 rupees. So you've held in that entire time frame when it went all the way up to what, 17, 18, thereabouts, and then fell all the way down to what, 7, 6? Okay, so you've had quite a bit of patience. Yash, can you help me as to why you bought Vodafone Idea?
Vodafone Idea, sir, in perspective of it was giving a competition to Jio and Airtel, so versus that, and looking the fundamentals about it.
Okay, Yash, just a quick follow-up. Do you have more stocks beyond Vodafone Idea that you're holding?
Apart from that, other companies I have.
Yeah.
CT Power at 125 quantity at 846 price. And the date was...
No, not date. Any other stocks that you're holding, can you tell me briefly?
CG Power, 125 quantity, 846. Then apart from that, Amaraja Batteries, 50 quantity.
Okay.
And price was 1446.
Got it. So basically 3 or 4 stocks, right?
Yes, I have more than that.
Okay.
But in short,
Few stocks. All right. Avinash, Vodafone Idea, high risk, high reward strategy so far, and it's proving to be high risk for most people. Bought at levels of 11 rupees, 18,000 quantity. What would you do with this?
No, I think, my sense is that it's a sell on rise because, obviously Vodafone is in the news of late. They've won one order where they got a refund of 1,600 odd crores. Plus, there have been some unconfirmed reports that, the government may change the AGR, rules, which could also benefit the company. See, I think one thing is very clear that Vodafone is one of the weakest players in the telecom market if you compare it with Bharti or Jio. And with the kind of 5G rollout capex required, I think it's going to be an Herculean task to actually gear up in terms of increasing their market share. So I think, my sense is it's better that once the stock comes to his cost price, I think he should exit. That would be a better strategy because going forward, at least for the next 2-3 quarters, I don't think the company is going to come in the profit. They would continue to record losses.
And they're losing market share. Yash, so be very careful with your investment. We've said this all week, and in fact, over the last several weeks, be very careful with your investments and don't take such a large exposure to one particular stock if you're not very certain about the fundamentals and the future. All right, it's time to hit the rapid fire segment, and this is where we throw as many questions at our experts as possible over 2 minutes, and we try and get them answered. The first question we're taking today is on, we've got Angel One already, but we'll take Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Kanan from Kerala is asking, 860 is the buy price. Would you buy at the current juncture or would you average? What's the view on the charts, Vaishali?
So Motilal, buy at this level.
Okay.
All right, LIC is the next counter. Gul has got 5 shares. He wants to know at what price he can add more and average it. Vaishali?
So LIC housing, you're asking me about LIC. Okay,
LIC.
I think this level is, yes, it's good to buy at these levels.
Okay, Fintech average price of 1,050. Siddharth wants to know, would you hold or would you exit? Horizon is 5 years. Avinash?
Yeah, I think continue to hold.
Morpin Labs bought at 62 a piece and holding 9,000 shares. What could be the next course of action, Avinash?
Well, I think continue to hold. I think next 12 to 18 months look quite promising.
Okay. We can't comment on unlisted shares, by the way. Suzlon Energy is the name of the counter. Bought at levels of 59.75. Shubhankar wants to know, hold or buy more at this point. Vaishali, on the charts?
Hold with stop loss of 52.
All right, Sign DLM is the next counter. What's the view with respect to the Q3 numbers, Avinash?
No, I think numbers were quite disappointing, but I think the order book continues to be positive. So I think continue to hold for the longer term.
Okay, Ircon International, 330 is the buy price. Loss is being incurred by Arjun. Would you hold or exit, Avinash?
Yeah, I think continue to hold. Hopefully, budget should provide some, big benefits. So I think for a 12 to 15 month time frame, please hold on.
Suzlon Energies is the counter. 50 shares bought at 59 a piece. Buy additional shares at this juncture, Vaishali?
Buy me a 52 and 53 and keep a stop loss of 52.
Okay. All right. Very quick view. Hindalco bought at levels of 689. I know you've already told us about this, but the last trading price at 610, I believe. Would you hold on at this point, Vaishali?
Hold.
Okay. All right. We slipped in one sneakily at the end. Vaishali and Avinash, thanks so much for joining in, for answering all of the questions that you did. Pleasure having you on the program. All right, and that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit from Mahima and myself and the team that put this show together. Thank you so much for watching. Lots coming up over the course of the day. Do stay tuned. This is NDTV Profit.